Hello, and thank you for joining us for another episode of This Week in AML. I'm John Byrne, Chair of the AMLRS Advisory Board.
And I'm Elliot Berman, our Creative Director. We are excited to welcome you to the This Week in AML podcast,
where we explore key news and developments in the global financial crime prevention community.
Hi, John. How are you this week?
Hey, Elliot. I'm actually out at the West Coast AML Forum, which, as we know, is the model that we use for the AML Partnership Forum from a couple of weeks ago. So this particular program, it's in its 30th year, 29 events, because in 2020 it was postponed because of COVID. And there's been a number of conversations with law enforcement. And it just struck me that because while this is a national problem, you certainly have seen some media stories about what HSI is calling organized retail crime, but basically it's sort of I think they call, I guess there's a phrase for it where they go into retail stores and grab items. It's planned. These are gangs. These are organized, and they sell them online, that sort of thing. And so I thought it'd be a good time to reference what HSI is doing in this space, and also a precursor to a more detailed interview that we plan to do with our partners there when they release a training program that will help financial institutions on this, on organized retail crime. And it's such an important topic that they already have an acronym, ORC. And so
Right, exactly.
I thought we would highlight what they sent us, which is the Cornerstone newsletter, which frankly I'd sort of lost track of. It was something that I had previously subscribed to. This is their 25th issue. What they sent us was January and February's, but I think it's important both to tell our community that this is out there, but also give them some highlights from this particular edition.
Yeah. Well, again, like many of the great publications that various agencies in the federal government and in the law enforcement community in particular publish, the Cornerstone newsletter. It's monthly. It focuses on a single topic, and it's something worth looking into if you're out in the community and trying to find out, a hot topic. I mean, it's a great way to follow a hot topic. So I thought this was interesting in the fact that, we've all known that there's retail crime, and probably most of the time people talk about it like as shoplifting, but
Right.
This is much more organized. It's with the intent, I think, to be able to support transnational organized crime activity through the sale of these stolen goods. So, no financial cost to the organizations to get these goods. There's obviously the risk of stealing them, and then selling them on online sales portals, and getting the funding. So it's become very large, and it's clear that, as you said earlier, it's very organized and segmented and things like that. I think one of the nice things about this particular piece is that there are some red flags that financial crime prevention professionals can use as they're trying to detect whether any of this activity is going through their institutions.
Right. And, they give you a tip on filing SARs, and they ask that you maintain photos and video, if you got them, of the individuals making deposits or withdrawals who are suspected of being involved in this. And the red flags they're not unknown to our community. So there are things like structured cash deposits, fraud associated with Paycheck Protection Program, cryptocurrency exchange deposits that significantly exceed the stated income on account applications and have no identifiable source. The principal of the businesses use the bank's smartphone apps to send multiple transfers, those sorts of things. I think that's important, but I also I like the way Homeland Security says understand why this is important, other than the obvious that these are criminal activities, because these street gangs also commit narcotic smuggling, human smuggling, trafficking, all sorts of other things. So the funds that they raise from the sales of these ill-gotten goods help them pay for those criminal activities. So I think that's a good connection as to why it's important for our community to pay attention to this.
Yeah. They also, in the newsletter, there was something that was not in the focal point of the topic, but they said one of the things that's interesting is HSI special agents are available to provide training and share red flag indicators, criminal topologies, etc. So, many of our colleagues in the field who have responsibility for making sure that their training programs are, current and interesting and effective, are often looking for sources for external speakers beyond just their online training. And this is just a good reminder that HSI and I think some of the other agencies offer that in their outreach programs as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's them advertising, but HSI in this publication and when they speak at our programs, sometimes I think people forget the scope of coverage. And sometimes, I did a session today on antiquity smuggling here at West Coast and reminded people that the FBI has an art theft division, which frankly I didn't know until a couple of years ago. But similarly, HSI lists the things they investigate. And, most of our community knows this, but besides financial crime, national security issues, human trafficking we're well aware of, but transnational gangs, general smuggling, IP theft and trade fraud. So, there's a whole host of things that they and other law enforcement agencies work on. But I think sometimes we sort of forget and maybe put other agencies sort in line ahead of them, but they do elder fraud. They have corruption is important. So I think I would say to folks, subscribe to this, number one. And they're asking you, in addition to if you want training, do you have recommendations for content? Are they missing something? And send those suggestions. One pager, anybody can read a one pager, right? So if they're willing to do this and put it out monthly, we should continue to ask for education and awareness and outreach from them in this publication, and certainly with the work we do with them on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cornerstone is one of their key outreach programs collaborating with the financial industry. So, they have many other outreach programs across the many things that HSI does, but it's important to take advantage of this. I know it sounds a little sort of corny, but these are our tax dollars at work, and they really are at work and are being effective. And so it's important to take advantage of it.
No, I think that's right. I know coming up, we have a webinar. We were able to get the three folks that did a great job at the AML Partnership Forum on sanctions that are going to repeat the session, if you will, but put it in a webinar so it can have broader access toward the end of May. So you want to give folks information on that?
Yeah, so that's it's May 26th. It's a Thursday. The live stream will start at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And you can sign up by going to the AML Right Source website. And if you're on the website for just a moment or two, you'll get a little pop-up that will give you a chance to register for the website, for the webinar. And you'll also, if you register for the webinar, whether you attend or not, you'll get an email a few days afterward that will have a link to the full recorded session. So,
yeah, Elliot, when we do our webinars, obviously I'm well aware that we send out both snippets and other fuller versions or what have you of the programming. But if people want to make sure, like if they missed the one on domestic terrorism last week, how can they get some of that information going forward? Because I think we certainly are well aware that we do this, that you guys do this, but I mean, I think it's important so people sort of look for that, you know?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways. One, the first way is in the month, beginning the month following, you'll see several people will come to our website, and if they will see posted in the video section several throughout the month, several shorter excerpts from it. So we take a look and find common sections of the website that talk about, or I'm sorry, the webinar that talk about common topical things, and we bring those together in an edited version. They tend to run about 10-ish minutes, so an easier view than sitting and watching the entire thing. And those post throughout the month. And sometimes if there's enough, different webinars yield different amounts, so sometimes they go on into the next month. Also, about a month after a webinar, we then post the full recording to the website. And so that's the other way that you can see these. And then there's also often through our LinkedIn channel, you'll see posts that talk about excerpts, and we'll have a link to those excerpts as well. So that's 3 ways that you can access our the webinar content in addition to watching the live stream.
All right, sounds good. Have yourself a great rest of the week, and we will talk again next week.
Yeah, and you enjoy West Coast, and whenever you're coming back east, travel carefully.
Thanks. Take care.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.